do you think, war has evolved in this age of social media?
So basically, we have one border at the LOC, but we also have one border on social media. One place where we were on back foot was that we did not come on Twitter. We did not come on X to respond. And if you think that how does it matter, the world will not listen to it. I saw a tweet, not one, flowing in hundreds on Twitter, on X. And you know what this said? Remember, this was started by India tonight, 7th May. Pakistan's media and the narrative which was coming on social media through Pakistan was very clear that it is a fake narrative to be spread across India, that we brought down 5 Rafales.
So then how do you look at the role of such AI in times of crisis, because it will also bring its own bias?
I believe that when India and Indian political parties can have spokesperson for their parties and states, we have to bring a policy change in India where we have spokesperson of India.
There's also this, fog of war. There's so much information coming in from all quarters. It is difficult for people also to churn out what is actually verified and what is not.
Claims made on Twitter, claims made on Telegram, WhatsApp, or any places. We need to have a certain type of check on all these things.
Yes.
Okay? And check to a level that there should be a law for it.
In the age of social media, wars are no longer fought just on the battlefield. They are also waged online through tweets, images, misinformation, and also global perception campaigns. From disinformation tactics to AI-generated propaganda, the battle for narrative supremacy is now as crucial as boots on the ground. And we all witnessed that, in the case of India-Pakistan conflict in recent days. So even as guns have fallen silent, the information warfare between the two countries is still ongoing. So joining me now to decode this modern war machinery is an independent journalist, Praful Garg. He's been closely tracking all the developments on this front. So thank you, Praful, for joining us here on India Today Global.
It's my pleasure.
All right, now let me begin by asking you, this was the first conflict of this scale that India witnessed in this age of social media. We had Kargil war, that was the first television war, but this kind of conflict, being covered in real time on social media, that was first time we witnessed that. How did you look at the process, and also how do you think, war has evolved in this age of social media?
So basically, we have one border at the LOC, but we also have one border on social media.
Yes.
That is how I'll define it. If we will look back to the Kargil war, at that time people were restricted to knowing things of what is coming out on the television, etc. But now information is flowing faster because it is not processed.
True. On
the social media. So that is why we have a border here. So when we say a globalized world is not only for what we say growth, economy, etc. It is also to safeguard our nation on the social boundaries.
That is
so that is actually, according to me, how a war is also fought on social media, because in the end, what opinion will be built of India abroad or even to the Indians is flowing faster through the social media, which not only includes the WhatsApp University, but it also includes Instagram, Twitter, like X, and Telegram, etc.
Also this time, what happened in Uri and Balakot was different in this time was that it was happening also in civilian areas. People were getting information real time, they were looking at visuals, and that they were posting on Twitter and Instagram.
So I'll say that we decided to do the same the way we did it in Uri or Balakot, but Pakistan decided, Pakistani army, Pakistani media, Pakistani government decided to change the globe, change the flow altogether. The thing we need to understand is we did the same thing, as S.J. Shankar sir recently reported as well, that after the operation started, so many people in India also misinterpreted what he said. Yes. So he said as the operation started, once we striked, so it took us 22 minutes to take revenge of something which happened on 22nd April.
Exactly.
So we were able to take the revenge in 22 minutes, and once we reported it to Pakistan that okay, this is something we have done, the same way how US did when they brought down Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, and we were willing to stop at that. It was Pakistan who escalated, and thereon we hit military installations.
We always will to stop at that. We never start. And the thing is, it was actually Pakistan, or we should say China, or we should say the people along with Pakistan, because now Turkey has also come in support. So that is something we need to see, that all these people came in together because they knew that we want to bring down India, but what they don't understand is it's not possible.
Now, interestingly, you talked about perspective building,
Yeah.
and you thereon talked about the partners that were helping Pakistan on social media as well. So there's this growing term called narrative warfare. Can you help our viewers understand what it actually entails and how governments, including India, are engaging in this battle for narrative?
Okay, so let's simplify it. If we look at 7th of May 2025 night 1:44 a.m.
Yes.
when we striked with Operation Sindoor. Post that, I'll tell you why I spiked my reach through social media. I was making 55 videos per day. I'll tell you why. The reason is I saw a tweet, not one, flowing in hundreds on Twitter, on X. And you know what this said? Remember, this was started by India tonight, 7th May. They wanted the narrative to start from 7th May. They want everyone to forget what happened on 22nd of April. This is exactly how narratives are set. So, and I'll tell you what, this is, if you think, oh, what will happen if 100 Pakistanis will speak? No, it was not 100, because they had a whole army behind it. Army of not weapons, but army of people who were united as one.
I think that's very important for viewers to know as well.
So they were united as one, and they were flowing in numbers. All their celebrities are coming together, everyone is coming together, and they're putting out text in a very simple manner. It started on 7th of May. Dude, they did not start on 7th of May, it started on 22nd of April. And we were not the people who started.
And not just 22nd of April. We have seen Pulwama, we have seen Uri, 26/11.
If we restrict only to Operation Sindoor, then that was a response to 22nd April.
Exactly.
So at least if we start from there. Now the only place where I feel we as Indians are somewhere on the back foot. We are on the front foot with our army. We have changed our all narratives our all policies are offensive, then defensive. And now it is act of terrorism is equal to act of war. A lot of things adding. But one place where we were on back foot was that we did not come on Twitter. We did not come on X to respond. And if you think that how does it matter? The world will not listen to it. Let me tell you, I have got messages from the Indian diaspora abroad that is this for real? Because they did not see, everyone did not know what happened on 22nd of April, because a lot of Indians were trying to blame our own government for doing that to win some state elections.
Exactly. And there's also this, fog of war. There's so much information coming in from all quarters. It is difficult for people also to churn out what is actually verified and what is not.
So that is why they do it. They know that to win the narrative on social media is far better.
Yes.
And let me tell you one thing. How will some agency or someone report things? They will see where the narrative is flowing. If we look at international media, they already don't support India.
Yes.
So this is not something new. When we reached Mars, you saw how they reported us. So we need to understand that they are already ready. So there's a line in Hindi. We say that nange se khuda aa raha hai. Right?
Okay, you will have to explain that for viewers.
So basically what that means is that someone who is not at your level, they will go down to any level to bring you down, right? So what people they end up thinking that, oh wow, Pakistan is very sympathetic, they are losing, they are so small, then why the hell do you come and try to strike us first?
That is true. Now, interestingly, you mentioned Western media's coverage. Even in this conflict, it was very biased. We had seen that, while they covered Pahalgam attack, they called terrorist gunmen, they called them militants.
Yes, exactly.
And even when Operation Sindoor was carried out, they equated India with Pakistan, a terror state and a victim of terrorism.
See, news flows from the heads. How did the Vice President of United States report it? He said India and Pakistan and India.
Yes.
Okay, something like this. And Pakistan and India are at war. India needs to understand. Look at his statement. Read his statement. The media will start from where? They'll start how the leaders are reporting things. And that is exactly what happened with us as well. And you know why this happens? Because again, if you look at a larger picture, okay, who can compete with US in the next few years? India. Is it gonna be Pakistan? No. Whose equipment we are using? Or weapons we are using, S-400. Whether we use or not, that's a separate concept altogether, but it is Russia. They know, can Pakistan makes its own weapons? No, but India is making BrahMos. India is bringing out the BrahMos too. Now they know one thing, that the only country we are afraid of is not Pakistan, it's India. So they will come against. But I say that my only worry and is to the people of India, and that is why probably I'm here to pass on a message that whether you're sitting abroad or whether you're sitting in India, taking up Twitter, taking up Instagram to just put out one message that it started on 22nd of April and Operation Sindoor was India's answer to it, and we did precision strikes on the terrorist locations. We had no intent to attack the military or the defense forces, and once Pakistan attacked our Poonch and our civilians, that is when we had to respond back. That message, if 142 crores Indians in India, at least if you say don't have social media or the privilege to have a phone, let me tell you, there are more than 49 crore Indians who are active on YouTube, and there are 40 crore Indians who are active on Instagram, and I'm telling you live data.
Yes.
Why can't we come up and we speak? Because if we, even 40 crore of us speak, it will nearly double down the population of entire Pakistan.
Clearly, a strong and a clear message has to be sent out that India only retaliated when Pakistan tried to hit civilian areas, military bases in India. And also I'm saying tried to hit, it was not successful at all. Now, I'll come to another point as well when you're talking about information warfare. So a lot of people are talking about this, that disinformation has also become a legitimate tool in this warfare. We also see some news channels, going overboard with their coverage as well. How do you look at that, disinformation being spread as a tool of war?
Let's take it as a subject. Okay. When we say some news which is reported by the media, now it can be any media. When we look at law, we look at intent. Then why can't we look at intent when it comes to media as well? When a fake news narrative is spread, it is spread with an intention to bring indiscipline, to bring a panic situation in the country. But when some news is reported in reality, see, even if we look at journalists, have they also seen a war in the recent 25 years? You learn from your experiences, right? So if your intent, so Pakistan's media and the narrative which was coming on social media through Pakistan was very clear that it is a fake narrative to be spread across India, that we brought down 5 Rafales. Now, it is not saying that
And this was picked up by international media as well.
They are going to Pakistan and trying to report it from Pakistan, but they are unable to show our plane there. They're not showing our aircrafts. The reason why they are picking it up is against sentiment. If India or Indians will stop sharing that information, because we all have this much brain. Like if, for example, if someone calls you, they can say, hey, your father is with us. Will you believe him?
Obviously not.
Then why do we believe some people who are talking about our mother nation?
But I think so. The thing is, we all have our own biases, right? So we are, when we pick up some news or when we share some post on social media, of course, that gets reflected in. And secondly, as I mentioned before as well, that there's so much information coming out. People are often confused as to, what to pick up and what to not.
At that point of time, we should bring out...
And when I say people, I do not mean news media organizations. I mean, ordinary people who are on Twitter and sharing posts.
Exactly. So the point is, when we look at news, we have to look at the merit of it. When you say within 2 hours of Operation Sindoor starting that 5 Rafales have been brought down, is it even possible? We have not even crossed LOC, boss. So the thing is, I'll tell you, when news spread across WhatsApp channels, they come through a lot of digital media, etc., etc. But what we need to understand is again the same thing: cross-question things. When I use the father and daughter example of you getting a call from someone that your father, you will look because you feel they are yours, right? They are the reason why you are here on earth. Then he lived in India. So I always say this, that whenever you talk of anything, always remember, keep all your propagandas, narrative. I'm talking to Indians. See, we need to understand, we're talking to Indians at large, because there were many who question our own people. They question our own defense forces. The point is, there is something we say, Rashtra Dharam, which is basically when you believe in a religion, in any religion, you first believe in India. Rashtra Dharam is India. Then comes your karma. Your karma is like, you are a journalist. I am an independent journalist, whatever you want to call me. But the thing is, I'm doing my karma to safeguard my nation on borders, on social media. Then third comes karma, which is our religion. If we keep state separate from religion, that is when we'll be able to see the state. That, okay, our country is in problem, not because of our defense forces, not because of our government, but because of the fake news narrative being spread about us, but we are not doing anything about it.
All right. So that's also a message that we have to debunk lies. We have to debunk the propaganda that's
Exactly.
spread during such crisis. Now, I want to talk about another aspect when you're talking about information warfare, and that is the role of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So you were really active on Twitter. A lot of people were asking the chat box, Grok, about the information related to war, and I was also using it. And when you ask a question about the India-Pakistan conflict, so it says there's a lot of information coming in from both the sides, but the US played a pivotal role in the conflict. Now, this is a biased information coming in from a chat box, which is particularly based in a country, because India has made it very clear that whatever conversation happened was bilateral. US was not involved. It was just, its role was very limited. So then how do you look at the role of such AI in times of crisis, because it will also bring its own bias?
I believe that when India and Indian political parties can have spokesperson for their parties and states, we have to bring a policy change in India where we have spokesperson of India
Okay.
on social medias. Like if anyone wants to ask a question, okay, you can ask that particular spokesperson. It can be an organization.
But then opposition will come out and say that this is a person.
That's why I did not use the word BJP.
Yeah.
I said spokesperson
How
of
do you
India.
make sure that the person is also not, biased?
When we got independence, did we think of parties or we thought of independence at that time? We thought of independence, right? People fought in together for independence. Then why, when it comes to the war, when it comes to such situations where it is again about the nation?
So you're saying that basically you can counter the bias of AI through some policy changes.
With some
through
policy changes,
officials.
because see, if you will keep on, like that is the problem. We, in the race of becoming modern, we ended up becoming Western. So you want to believe an AI tool which is built out of US, okay, and is on a particular platform where I can mimic you by getting a verification sign in front of your name with me. Because
Okay.
there is no Aadhaar card verification on X.
Okay.
There is not one AI, there are 1,000 AIs with the same name, same DPs. How many people know that which is the exact right platform to go and pinpoint? That is the whole point I'm trying to make here.
Okay.
That we need to bring out a policy change where it is first of all fast. Okay. How to match speed with logic. Okay. You say, okay, this is a platform which gives you information about India and the current situations. Like, okay, ANI was doing, PTI was doing, many people were doing it. You guys were doing it. The point is, one platform of the government from the centers. We have a defense control system. Why can't we have one for the media?
All right. Now, because you have talked about X and the loopholes that come in while using X, I want to talk about what is the accountability of, digital platforms like X, Telegram, or Twitter, Instagram as well. Because you see what happened during these 4 days was that a lot of people made unverified claims. Videos from Dubai, videos from Israel were thought and posted as videos from Pakistan. And then what algorithm does is it pushes forward these videos because, this is what catches attention.
Anything, so algorithm works with like, share, saves and comments. So first of all, let's be very clear of this fact that algorithm will push things, its job is not to verify things.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, claims made on Twitter, claims made on Telegram, WhatsApp or any places, we need to have a certain type of check on all these things.
Yes.
Okay. And check to a level that there should be a law for it.
Okay.
Because if we spread information fast, like, okay, so let's make some awareness campaigns that, okay, the way there is awareness campaign for right touch, wrong touch. In the same way, awareness campaign, okay, if there is a double forward sign coming on a WhatsApp forward, be cautious while forwarding it. Because double forward means
Digital literacy
to an extent. In the same way, if you're going on Instagram, if you see an image, okay, is it AI made or not AI made is something we first need to understand. And it is very easy to understand it. When you look at an image, you are able to get it. And also, we should not try to be absolutely fast. I know being fast is important at these times because people are in panic situations. They need to know what is exactly happening. Let me give you an example. When news came out of a drone being reported or seen in Vaishno Devi, 77 crore Indians were in a panic situation all over. I made a video. I'll tell you how I reported it. There can be, if we do Instagram, there can be a way to double authentication. Like for example, my process was very simple. First, a person will reach out to me from Vaishno Devi. Now, then I will take their Aadhaar card. My team will do a video conferencing with them to see the Aadhaar card face is matching with their face or not.
Okay.
Then they will have to send a video from their phone.
Okay. To verify the location.
To verify the location. No, not to verify the exact location. We are not asking them for where they exactly are.
Okay.
But to also understand, okay, this is a video made from their phone where they are speaking. And we exactly know in the video call, okay, this area is there. Now they're showing us that area. Okay, I might get 5 minutes late, but my video will be authenticated. It will be the right one. And that is exactly what we need. That is exactly what I did. See how many Indians you know who gained, let's say, I'm not trying to boost, but let's say 14 lakh followers in a span of 10 days. Or I'll rather say in a span of 7 days. How many Indians? Without dancing, without singing, without abusing, without raising your voice.
So what you're saying essentially is that
authentication.
There is responsibility on our part and also on, like, basically people when they're consuming the content that's coming on their feed.
Yes, we need to be responsible citizens. We are the people of India. So we need to be responsible citizens on how we are reporting things. Okay? And that is, like, for example, if you see on Instagram, this particular news came out of a particular blast in Pakistan. Okay? And now everyone started reporting that blast. Okay? Now that makes our narrative weaker. Because that was not Pakistan. That was Gaza. That makes our narrative weaker. Now, if we wait, our media will come, our defense forces will come, meet the media, they will report everything, they will show the images. Yes, that is when we have to put them out. And also, over a period of time, you built a network. For example, in the last media briefing of the defense forces, they showed an image of Noor Khan Air Base where there was a big hole on the ground. 24 hours before that, I had put it out on my Instagram. Why? Now you will say, how the hell did you do that? And what was the verification? Because a lot of people from the defense forces were already in touch with me. I was able to get these videos. They were like, this message has to go because they are reporting everything false about us. They're saying that 80% of Uttar Pradesh people and Bihar people have returned back to their home. So when they can show a WhatsApp proof, then we know that our image is real, our content is real. We can put it out to the world saying that this has come from this particular source and it is true. Our defense forces will report it tomorrow if by any chance, because see, even Dettol says that we are 99%, we kill 99% of the germs. You never say 100% of the germs. So the point is, even I write that, if I'm wrong, I will tell you after a day, but this has come from this cause and it seems credible. That's the way to report, adding a prefix and a postfix, according to me.
All right, my last question to you is because we have been talking about information warfare and you've mentioned about briefings as well. So it's not just people who are involved in this narrative, building, it's also the government. We've seen from both the sides, a lot of briefings took place from the military side. We've been trying to put forward our message as well. From Pakistani side, of course, we saw a lot of bogus claims being made. They're sharing videos of video games in their briefings. They are putting up pictures of Chinese drills showing as a damage that they did to India. So how is India now countering all that narrative and how is India pushing forward its story?
All party delegation. We are sending our best men who keep India first.
Okay, just a question before you go ahead. Do you think we were late in doing that and do you think,
No. So these people were needed to defend India's borders on international news channels and boundaries. So if you see any leader, Shashi Tharoor sir, okay, if you see any other person as well, I don't know name many, but they were there reporting about us on the international media. So now, see, whenever something happens, whenever we send a delegation, it is not something we can think of during operations and let's send them to the country, to some other country. It has to be decided, thought of before and how it has to happen, where we have to go, whether our proofs are ready or not, because we need to understand people sitting in US, people sitting in the Western countries are ready to counter anything India speaks, no matter we speak right. So we need to go with our proofs right.
We have to put out the evidence.
We have to put out the evidence. And okay, we had put out the evidence during our media briefings as well. But if someone is showing a WhatsApp proof or videos of our news channels, okay, then we have to at least go out, show them, okay, sir, this is this, this is this. But that all takes time. Who will go to which country? Because these people, like many of them have been diplomats before.
Yes.
So they have certain relations there. They have to set up video conferencing there with other media houses. Imagine if Shashi Tharoor sir reaches US and there's no one to greet him, there's no one to talk to him. How will it look? Will it put a positive picture of India? So good things come for those who wait. So we brought out the right on time, and now we are bringing out the reality of Pakistani media and the Pakistani army and the government when our party delegation is reporting abroad.
All right. So, well, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today Global, and thank you viewers for staying with us. So, this was the crux of how the information warfare is playing out between India and Pakistan, and of course, how this could go in the future. Thank you so much for staying tuned to India Today Global.